Hi everyone, Lolly here. Today I finished my first paintbrush project, or canvas I'll call it, because it was my canvas for today. Um, of course inspired by Lori Marie Jenkins. She did a paintbrush and her skirt came out really cute, I think because my paintbrush is shaped different, but what it looks like to me is one of the old bustle dresses. And so kind of remember the straight line with the bustle on the back, so that's kind of what she reminds me of. So it was just a paintbrush that I've used for a long time, and it's finally just seen better days. So I covered it with some different pieces of paper, and then I have the Tim Holtz tissue paper. This one has the birds on it, and so I covered the whole brush in that. And then over the skirt part, I added some more pattern paper, like from a sewing pattern. But if you have any kind of tissue paper, the tissue paper works better than scrapbook paper because it folded around the brush a lot easier. So that's why I used the tissue paper. So the whole thing is with tissue paper, and then I Mod Podged it so it was on there really good and gave it a good kind of a varnish. And so then I just stuck the little tag on there, love is spontaneous. This part right here, and my hands are still black because I just cut this out of a piece of cardboard. It actually was some stickers or something, and wanted it to look like one of those old-time frames, and so I inked the edges. And then she is a Tim Holtz cardboard, those cardboard people from Tim Holtz. That's what she is, and she had a long dress on, and I cut that off. And I always like to color in these the cardboard people, just because I don't know, it gives them that old-fashioned, remember when they first started coloring films, and so they have a little color splashed here and there. So just her cheeks and her hat a little bit, and the lace was there to kind of make it look like the bust part of her dress. And then of course I inked around all the edges. I used some vintage photo, which it made the brown on there a little bit, but then I added the black to give it a little more of an aged look. And then her skirt is just some buttons, and I got that little heart, I got a bunch of them from my friend Aaliyah, and I had to use it somewhere on here, so that's where it went. The leaves are actually, I'm sorry, I cut them in shapes of leaves, but they are actually tin, a sheet of tin that I had for crafting, and I covered it with some sheer pattern paper, and just to give it a little texture, just so they weren't so sharp. And that's all I did with those. And then I inked around the edges a little bit with some black, I don't even know, the soot. Okay, let me try that again. The black soot distress ink is what I put around the entire paintbrush and the edges of the wings. So I used the, let me see if I can get it on here, the Tim Holtz Distress ink in the black soot, and the antique linen, which doesn't come out real brown, but it does give it a distressed look, so I like that, and looks kind of just like it does there on the front. Just a little bit of aging on there. And the tin was just, you can hear it, it's just a little piece of tin that they sell in sheets. I probably got it at Michael's, I think, for crafting. And so I just cut out a leaf shape, because earlier before I cleaned my stuff, I had some beautiful lace leaves that I was going to use for her wings, and then after I cleaned, I couldn't find them, so I did the next best thing, and I thought the tin would be really nice. So there she is. She doesn't have a name yet, but you can see right on her little dress, the lace of her dress right there says "Within My Heart." So sorry if I made you dizzy going in there. I'm holding the camera in my hand. So I just wanted to share this with you. Thanks for joining me. It was super fun. I have one more paintbrush that is covered in the tissue paper, and I'm ready to start on that one now and see what that one becomes. So thanks for joining me, and go out and try it. We all have paintbrushes sitting around that we don't use any longer, so see what you can do with them. They are super fun. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for joining me. Take care.